has been a long time since I've done a rant style video, but I thought there was just one subject that was worth bringing this type of video back, and that is people on public transportation. Most of us have probably taken public transportation at some point in our lives, probably more than once, but now that I'm taking the metro every single day, I have definitely had my fill of horrible passengers on public transportation. Obviously, sometimes there are obvious reasons why someone is being a terrible passenger or driving you crazy, and that's okay, like, I get it. People are just minding their own business, they're going about their lives, and sometimes, you know, you're having a bad day, or you're having a weird day, or you're not paying attention. That's cool. But there seems to be just a handful of types of people that you encounter on public transportation who have very annoying habits, and they're sort of well-established things that you do not do when you're on public transportation. And yet there are still people who do them constantly, all the time. So today I thought I would just outline for you the most annoying types of people that I have encountered and that you probably have encountered too on public transportation. And keep in mind, like, take everything with a grain of salt. This is just for fun. I'm just teasing. If you do any of these things, then I don't hate you. I would just encourage you to not do them. The first are those people who just stare. They won't look away. You're in a tiny little box, whether it be a bus or a metro car or whatever it is. You can't move, you cannot get away. And once you've sat down and they've sat down, it's kind of weird to get up and move. So when someone is just staring at you from where they're sitting and they won't look away, it makes you super self-conscious and it's just kind of annoying. The second annoying type of person on public transportation are those people who will come and step in and stand or sit right next to you when there's so much other space all around you. I take the metro during rush hour, so a lot of times when I'm on the metro, it's super packed, there's not space. I get it, you're gonna bump up against people and it's gonna be uncomfortable. But when it's completely empty and when there are plenty of seats and just plenty of standing space outside of that one spot next to you, and then a person gets on and stands there or sits there, even worse, it's very uncomfortable and it's completely unnecessary. Just take a few seconds longer when you get on, look around, see all the space that you have to choose from, and choose someplace a little bit further away. The next type is possibly the most annoying to me and the one that drives me the most crazy. And it's those people who will try to get on before the people exiting have gotten off. Now, I will cut a little bit of slack here every so often because the first time I took public transportation, I think it was the London Tube, I didn't know this unspoken rule, but there's kind of just like, don't you just feel it out? I don't remember ever having trouble understanding the fact that when the doors open, you don't just step on, you wait for people to get off. And also the odds of those people who are doing it, that being their first time on public transportation, it's pretty unlikely. You can normally kind of spot a city person from a not city person, and people still constantly do this. And it's basic metro slash bus slash public transportation courtesy and manners. It also really slows things down too, because then you've got people fighting to get on and off and you can't get off, and it's a big mess. It's so rude. And then there are those people who will get on the metro and just stop and just plant themselves right there by the door. Again, I have been on the metro plenty of times when it's super packed. Sometimes that's as far on as you can get. But if there's tons of space and there's also tons of people behind you trying to get on, the worst thing you can do is just step on and stop. It's like these people are completely oblivious that anyone else might need to get on the metro. They just want to get on, and now that they're on, it's game over. If you do get on the metro or whatever type of public transportation you're taking, and you do end up standing next to the door for whatever reason, please do not be the type of person who, when it's time to get off for other people and you don't need to get off, you just still stand there. Again, when the carriage is really packed, sometimes getting off can just be really difficult anyway, but if you are standing right in front of the door, whether it's packed or not, you gotta move. You can go to the side, you can step out and then step back in once the people have gotten off, but you have to move. Just a little tip to go along with this one. If you know you have a long trip on this, you know, bus or metro or whatever, don't stand next to the door, and then you won't have to worry about it and other people won't have to worry about it. Problem solved. The next type of person that I really hope I do not have to ride the metro with is the type of person who will bring smelly food with them. Eating on the metro or on a bus in general is a little bit, I don't recommend it, but sometimes it has to be done. I get it. Sometimes you're in a rush, and I've been there too. But please do not get a super smelly sandwich or something just really strong, no matter if it's a good strong or a bad strong or anywhere in between. If it smells really strong, do not bring it with you. We're all stuck in this tiny little carriage together. And again, once you get on, it's really awkward to get up and move. So normally once you sit down or you stand in a certain spot, you're gonna stay there for the next few stops. And nobody wants to smell your food. If it doesn't smell good to the other people, it's just miserable. If it smells too good to the other people and they're hungry, that's also miserable. It's not a good situation. And of course, you also have those people who like to share their music with the world. This is nice if I'm in the mood for music or if I like the style of music that the person's playing, but generally when I get on the metro or the bus, I don't really want to hear your music. It can be people with their headphones in who just have them cranked way too high and would like to go deaf really, really young. Or it can be those people who just play their music without headphones, which is just really awkward and a little bit rude anyway. And then of course you also have the people who get on and play their music as if it's a show, but they're the people who aren't licensed and they're not very good. Whatever it is, if I want to listen to music when I'm on public transportation, I will put in my headphones and I will choose the music I want to listen to and when I want to listen to it and the volume I want to listen to it. The next type of people are those people who are way unnecessarily loud. Okay, I get it. The metro and the bus and basically all public transportation is loud. So if you're with somebody or if you're trying to have a conversation on your phone, you have to speak loudly. That's just the way it is. I'm not judging you for that. I've been there. Everyone's been there. That's normal. But then there are this handful of people, and if you do public transportation a lot, you know the people I'm talking about. They don't need to be that loud. But they are. Whether it's talking or really loud laughing, whether it's on the phone or with people around them, it's like they want to share their joy or their anger or whatever they're feeling with everybody around them. It's especially annoying if you happen to be riding the metro or the bus with a really bad headache, which I've been there before. When you're going home from work, you don't always feel that great. And then you end up like sitting right next to someone on their phone who's like having an angry conversation for everybody to hear. And yeah, it makes the whole thing just very unpleasant for everybody else. Next are the people who get on with massive backpacks, which is okay, that's cool. I've basically moved house on the metro, so no judgment there. But they proceed to get on with their big backpack or their big, bag or suitcase or whatever, and just plow everybody over around them. It's as if they don't realize that they have this massive thing on their back or on their arm, and they're just moving through like they're their normal size. Except they're not, they're like double their size because they have a massive bag on their back. I have been knocked around and hit and beaten with so many bags and even like suitcases, like hard shell briefcases and stuff, because people just aren't being aware of the fact that they have like something attached to their body. And that's so many things. It's rude, it can also be painful, it can also be annoying. It's not a good situation. And lastly, I'm gonna wrap up with one that is sort of just a joy of city life in general. But it's those people who get on and are just really smelly. Sometimes it's people who smell like they haven't showered for several days, and sometimes it's people who maybe have just come from the gym, or just it's a hot day, or even those people who get on with way too much perfume or way too much cologne. That's also smelly. Once again, we are stuck in a tiny little carriage or a tiny little bus with these people, and you can't move, you can't escape, and you have to just breathe it in. I found myself so many times taking my scarf up over my face and just trying not to think about it, trying not to breathe out of my nose. And that has got to be one of the most unpleasant public transportation experiences you can possibly have. Whew, okay, rant over, and I've gotten it all out of my system. In my opinion, those are definitely the worst types of people that you can possibly end up taking public transportation with. But of course, I probably missed some, let's face it. So if you guys also have some more to add to this list, some other annoying habits that sometimes people have on public transportation, definitely leave it down in the comments below. We can all rant together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, kind of bringing back my old rant style of video. Again, grain of salt, this is all just for fun. But definitely let me know if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, because it's fun to do once in a while. And when you live in a city, there's just so much material to work with. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you soon.